Iran, as I said, has stood on the sidelines for a very long time. They have been very, what you would call, patient with not only Israel, but us as well. There has been an incredible amount of patience on their part not to go absolutely apeshit, but you're going to bomb the capital of Iran and kill countless civilians. The big issue right now, and I just made a post on our YouTube channel about how Donald Trump really holds all the cards right now. Because there is immense pressure already in this very moment from the Israel lobby on Trump's head to get the United States involved. Because the Israelis are absolutely losing their minds as to just how detrimental this circumstance has turned against them so very quickly. They could never have anticipated that this was what was going to happen, that Iran was going to fire right back at them, and with complete prejudice. They are not letting up, and they're not going to let up. They have been pushed one too many times for way too long, and they are now in it to win it. I hate using sports terms here, but this is ostensibly what's happened here. Guys, we have passed we're almost at the 1,100 viewer mark. If you haven't hit that like button, please make sure that you do. Please make sure that you subscribe. And then, of course, please make sure that you share and click the bell. This is what brought us to this point. You know, we've already had one member of the chat bring up the fact that this is essentially Operation Cowardly Lion. That's essentially what Netanyahu has done here. And so this is what the most psychopathic leader in the world had to say just before Israel decided to attack Iran on Thursday night.
Ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival.
What threat? What the fuck are you talking about? Iran has done everything in their power not to get involved with these conflicts. Netanyahu is not just a cowardly lion. He is not just a war criminal. He is a genocidal maniac who in many ways is doing this as a result of the fact that he is a wanted criminal, and he's a wanted criminal in Israel. I have only seen a few clips, courtesy of Ian Carroll of the Bibi Files. We are going to talk about the Bibi Files. We're not going to talk about it tonight, but we're going to most likely address it on Monday, because we're going to put a nice clip together for you guys. Like I said, this live stream was on short notice. Little did I know what we were going to be walking ourselves into. We're at 1,250 live stream viewers, completely shattering the highest mark our channel has ever hit before, which is about 375. So clearly we're going to have to give strong consideration to Saturday night viewing, although I don't know if it's because we're not really going up against any other channels or because of the story that is being talked about right now, or if this just happens to be a time for a lot of you guys that you would like to see a live stream go on. So I certainly welcome any feedback in the chat if you guys think that Saturday night is a night for us to consider. We've noticed that the numbers on Monday nights are not nearly as strong as Thursday nights. But certainly, as I mentioned, any and all feedback is tremendously appreciated. And that's why we're here. We're here to hear from you guys. But when I think about Netanyahu, when I think about this man, when I think about the things that he has done for so many years, this full-fledged bastard of a person who has sent countless people to die. And now he's sending his own people to die. And meanwhile, this cowardly lion has fled to Greece. He's not sticking it out with his people. Listen, if there is one thing, I don't give Zelensky much credit at all, especially with the whole circumstances between Russia and Ukraine. But let me tell you, Zelensky, he sticks in his country. When the going gets tough and the bombs are dropping, he's there. Netanyahu, the second any threat is even thrown in his direction, he's gone. Goodbye. Hey, you guys fend for yourself. It ain't my problem now. Could you imagine? The second it even gets slightly hairy, he's gone. Goodbye. Naim, from your lips to the higher powers' ears, whoever that may be. Kip, that is a great question. Why are they harboring a war criminal? The biggest war criminal probably walking the earth right now. It's quite a few of them, don't get me wrong. But Netanyahu is pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. And so while he's up here making this statement, he's not even doing it in defense of his own country. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that literally is hanging his own people out to die? I mean, he is really hanging them out to die. Why would Athens take him? I have a friend who's high up in Greek politics. I have inquired. I haven't gotten an answer back yet. If I can share it, if I get it, you better believe I will. Can't reveal a source, but I can tell you. And Vicky, a lot of people are going to share your sentiment. Why would you ever go back to Greece? A lot of people are going to say, well, you take him, why would you take us? Actually, I have to do a little something while we're live here. I am doing this because Jen asked me to do it, and I am going to hold up my end of the bargain. It turns out, guys, we actually have a new $25 patron. And anytime we get a $25 patron, it goes without saying that we must acknowledge. So Noah David Linden, thank you so much for becoming a part of our small but mighty channel that is growing. And if you guys are so inclined, and we appreciate each and every one of you that are here, for as little as $5 a month, you could become a supporter of our small but clearly mighty and growing channel and support our efforts to continue to get the message out there about the truth about what's going on right now, which is Netanyahu is trying to drag us into World War III. That's it. President Putin has already said that Iran has Russia's full support, especially if the United States gets involved. I mean, there's no fucking around now, guys. This is serious business. And so I think it's incumbent upon us to say as loud and clear as we can to the President of the United States, we are not going to war for Israel. Whether it's Iran, whether it's Syria, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Turkey, we are not going to war for Israel. And if we do not go to war for Israel, I believe that it will strike a major blow against the Zionist state in this country. Israel's lobby has as much power and influence over our daily lives as any special interests in this country, whether it is private insurance and big pharma, whether it is big oil, whether it is crypto. They're number one because they inherently affect how our foreign policy is run and how our domestic policy is run. You see what's happening all over this country. You are not allowed to speak ill of Israel. You can go to prison now for practicing bank divestment sanctions against Israel. I mean, that's insanity. But we have allowed ourselves to get to this point. The only reason why it might actually change now is because maybe they've bitten off more than they can chew. That's what we've gotten to. Netanyahu is so sure that he can drag us into World War III to save his sorry ass. I'm not buying it. And I've got to give credit where we all have to give credit where credit is due. There is a sizable libertarian anti-war movement within MAGA that wants no part of this shit. And they are making it abundantly clear every day that they are not getting on board with this. And remember, a lot of members of MAGA were a part of the war in Iraq. You are not hoodwinking. In many cases, these people have kids that are now of age to go fight this war if they get drafted, or if they're already in the military and they want them over there. And let me assure you, if we go to war with Iran, the odds that there will be an attempt, don't know if it'll work, but if there will be an attempt to have a draft, very likely. And then you'll see just how badly this country wants to defend Israel. Remember, they have a lot of money and they have a lot of power, but they don't have numbers. They don't. They've got a lot of Zionists in this country for sure, but people are seeing through their facade. People are recognizing just what a crock of shit their entire ideology really is. And it isn't just about the genocide that they have inflicted upon the Palestinian people, of which there will be an incredible reckoning for every last one of these motherfuckers, including Debbie Wasserman Schultz in my former congressional district in South Florida. They're all going to be sent to the fucking Hague, which is where they belong. But until that time, we have to think along the terms that MAGA talks about, which is America first. If you support Israel, you are America last. You are dragging us straight to hell, because that's where they're going to drag us, because now they're in trouble. Iran is not backing down. They have every intention of just like the Zionist psychopaths wiped Gaza off the map. Iran is now determined to wipe Tel Aviv off the map. That's what's happening. And that's why this cowardly fuck just ran over to Greece. Because he don't want to be there with the shit hitting the fan. Because he don't believe in shit. He don't defend his people. He defends himself. The most selfish, bigoted, psychopathic ideology on the planet is Zionism. And this is the guy who leads it. Along with Miriam Adelson, who supplies the money, along with several others. But they are the enemy. They are our enemy. And anyone who supports it is our enemy. And they shouldn't be in this country. Go to fucking Israel. Let's knock their asses out of our country. You do what you did to the Palestinians, we are kicking you out. We don't want you here. Or your ideology, or your control over our political and economic lives anymore. Let's finish this up.
This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
Oh, he seems really confident that he's going to be able to get this done. So why do you run away? I don't know. It seems like he's a coward, a very big coward. Guys, how many likes do we have at this point? We're at 1,917 live stream viewers. Can we get to 2,000? I think if a few of you hit that like button, we might just get there. I think that that's very possible. But it didn't just start here. It did not start here. Netanyahu's been doing this forever. As psychopathic, as pro-war, as out of sight, out of mind, insane as this man is, it didn't just start yesterday. It didn't start October 7th. It didn't even start on 9/11. It's been going on for many, many, many years. And here's the proof.
Take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The
Incredible. What I would ask, and this is something that I think is kind of common sense here, why in the fuck are we inviting people of other countries to sit in front of our Congress and tell us what we should be doing with our foreign policy, of which their country has nothing to do with it? Unless they did have something to do with it. We have a clip coming up about the dancing Israelis. You guys are going to want to check that one out.
The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
You know, what I love about Dennis Kucinich, and he was a fantastic congressman. If you guys are not familiar with him, he was one of the best Democrats this country had, especially in the 90s and 2000s. If you're not familiar with Dennis Kucinich, check him out. He was the real deal. He was from Ohio. Democrats like him, they don't exist anymore. They're gone. Goodbye. That's why he left and became an independent. And always support his efforts. That's why he's being very smug right now towards Mr. Netanyahu. Are there any other countries you think we need to blow up to appease your Zionist efforts?
Point.
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is...
So he wanted to get directly to Gaddafi a decade before it happened. Really makes you wonder. You know, we had the privilege of having, you know, when we had General Wesley Clark as a guest on our podcast, we brought up the fact that he mentioned all of the nations that were talked about as sort of the CIA plan for the Middle East. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Iran, I'm going to count them off, guys. Make sure I get this right. Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, or did I say Syria? Somalia, Yemen, and Iran. And the intention was to take them all out. And in my opinion, the whole concept is to create greater Israel. And that's why he's talking about this a decade before Benghazi and all those things that happened in Libya, courtesy of Hillary Clinton. But there is no question. How does a guy know all about this? Because this was always the plan. But the plan has been going off the rails. Can't stay on the tracks now because he got too big for his fucking britches. But not a surprise.
Is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations.
All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror. I know that no matter on which side of the aisle you sit, you stand with Israel.
Why? What do they do for us other than give us hell? The worst things that have happened for our country are a result of supporting this psychopathic Zionist state straight from hell. They offer nothing, they provide nothing, and all they end up doing is making the entire world hate our guts. You know, they do surveys all the time, all over the world, and they ask constantly who is most responsible for there not being peace around the world. We're number one. You know who's number two? Them. Is that coincidence? But no, keep blaming Iran, keep blaming Russia, keep blaming China. That's the reason. You know, when I think about China and how they are eating us for lunch in many ways. Hey, Alex, Thank you for commenting and thank you for being here. We can't appease everybody, but thank you very much because more people will now see our channel thanks to you commenting. So, what is the point? We are living in a situation now where we can actually break away from these people because the rubber's going to meet the road. With Iran leveling Tel Aviv, the pressure from the Israel lobby onto Trump and to every member of elected office right now is going to be completely at a fever pitch. Just think about it. This has been going on forever. In fact, I don't have much good to say about President Obama, but I will tell you that one of the times that I thought that Obama needed our full support was when this son of a bitch came and spoke to our Congress, and this may be the time. I don't know if it was 2015, if it was a little bit earlier, but this son of a bitch came and spoke to our Congress without the invite of the president. The president said no, and he went over his head anyway, and he still came here and they let him speak. That's a level of disrespect of the president of the United States and the office that should never be tolerated. I would say it for Trump. I would say it for Obama. I'd say it for anybody. We handle our own shit. We don't need pieces of shit like him coming to our country and acting like he's the one in charge. And he has acted like he is in charge of our country for over 25 years.